Welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. On the previous video, you guys remember, we were working out here on the YouTube yacht, and the following video was supposed to be starting to do the dirt work and excavation on this, but instead, I ended up blowing a hydraulic line on the 555. So while I'm waiting for that hydraulic line, we're gonna go do something else. Got all kinds of goodies, a broken rake, you never know. Chains come along, hammers, an axe. You don't know what you're getting into. I had a fella reach out and he said, man, I got something you might like, and if you come get it, you can have it. I said, bet. Where you at? He said, Gary, Indiana. That's about 5 hours north of us. It'll be about 10 hours round trip, fingers crossed, probably a little bit longer. Now, he did send probably 50 pictures of this thing, and it is really rusted out in a lot of spots. He said it did rain when parked, but it's been parked there about 2 years. It's gonna be some work, but no more work than the 555 was, or still continually is, and it's gonna pair up nicely with that machine. Ooh, almost fell. Step one, go track down dirt perfect so I can steal his trailer. I need that. Okay, we found it. It's right here. We're fine. We just gotta go quick, fellas. We just gotta go quick. Oh, come on. Chains? When did he start doing that? We got safety chains on, we got lights on, we got brakes. Oh yeah, we got trailer brakes, and he's not waving his hands or anything, so we're going. It's gonna be a long trip home. It doesn't feel heavy on the truck. I wish we could have loaded it back in first, but the wheels don't fit between the fenders. It doesn't feel too crazy tail heavy. It feels balanced okay. But I also haven't gone over any big bumps yet. We'll keep you updated on the trip home. It took 5.5 to get up here. I'm guessing it takes a little bit more to get back to the house. Stop number one, we'll just check. I got one strap coming down, trying to hold the suspension down so I don't have a lot of bounce. Then we got one around each tire. This is my hood strap, holding the hood in place for me. And I got chains on the back. We've only went a few miles, but that should be a little bit to kind of bounce things around. Just wanted to double check everything's looking pretty good. Some seagulls over there, or lake gulls. I don't know what they call them here. Just north of Indy, topping off the fuel tank before we start heading further south. Everything seems to be riding fine. I did take the straps off and add some fire hose where it was rubbing on that rim just a little bit, just to help it out. I did have the hood fly open on me on the interstate. That was neat. Not an opportune time to film though on the shoulder, so we got her strapped back down. She seems to be doing okay. Everything seems to be riding fine. All the axles seem good. Nothing's getting hot. From a fellow who's been there, before you actually grab the hub, just feel. Know what I mean? Like if it feels hot here, it's gonna hurt when you do that. But everything seems to be holding up pretty well. See if we can get through Indy okay. So we made it back about 1:30 last night. Let's get this thing offloaded. we're just gonna try to get her to roll back into here before I release this. That's what allows that to pop up. I need to get this tire on this side of it though, so it doesn't come up there prematurely and cause us any issues. I just gotta come along, hooked up to the back. We're just gonna pull her backwards. There's my safety stop. Isn't that fancy? I'll straighten the wheel just a little bit there. It's got the old cab detached. That's neat though. It'll be fine. Well, I thought for sure she'd want to go, but she doesn't. So we'll just give her the old go and stop and see what happens there. Perfect, huh? Not a bad shot. I do believe we used a bucket off the 555 to stop her. We did. That's fine. That's not a problem at all. Nice. So here's what we're working with. This is a 1987 Ford F350 two-wheel drive dump truck. The thing to remember as we look this over, this was free. His plan was to pull the engine out of this because it is good and runs, and then scrap the rest. That's what he was gonna do. He had it sitting around for a while and he was gonna pull the engine and use it for something. And then he thought, you know what? That crazy fella down in southern Indiana might actually be able to put this thing to good use. It does have quite a bit of weight reduction installed. You can see what's happened to the cab. It's just kind of separated. Well, that's all right. The seats are still pretty sturdy. Fuel pump on off. That's fancy. It's got a 4-speed in it. Nice Pioneer radio. Luxury. There it is. That one is over there. Couldn't find this one. Got both the dump pins. How fancy is that, huh? Not too bad. A lot of weight reduction going on the bottom side of the bed, as you can see. Frame itself isn't terrible, but the bed's in pretty bad shape. I mean, just look at her, bud. She's pretty much mint. It'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Got the old hood latch here. Hold on. I mean, this rig's got all the luxuries. Windshield wiper fluid, power steering, power brakes, power. It does have a 460 V8 gas in it. He did say the battery was junk. We'll just hook it up to one of our good batteries. Get that out of your way. Make sure there's nothing living in here. Just a little spider. Oh. Fella's camera shy. That's okay, it happens. And he does have the carburetor covered, which is nice. I kind of want to work out the gas and make sure we got decent gas, and then let's just see what it does. It's got oil. Doesn't look bad either. We're gonna steal the battery out of the old Fubaru for the time being. By the way, if you want this, $500 and this gym can be yours. I'm pretty much done with it. I had my fun. It's time to move on to other things. Just give her the old twist for now. What was that? Key on or off right now? Oh, key is on. Let's turn the key off. There we go. Now there's no noises. That's probably good. So there's a button in there that says fuel pump. I'm just kind of curious. I'm just going to disconnect this fuel line. See if we can hear that fuel pump kick on. If it does, Well, maybe we can let it push some of the old bad fuel out. Put this real fancy capture device on here. Not sponsored by Casey's, but I wouldn't be against it. The pizza isn't the worst. So that's a no on the fuel pump kicking on. I don't think we're getting anything there. It'd just sure be an easy way if it's electric to push all the old stuff out. Let's check and see if we actually got 12 volts here. Looking real nice. I mean, it makes noises. Well, after a little electrical problem solving, we do have some sounds back here now. I'd say it sounds great, but there are sounds. Let's add some gas to it. Maybe that's the problem, that she just doesn't have any in there to clean anything out. Not sure what's going on here. There we go. Nice. Like it's actually picking something up now. Oh, there's gas coming out. Look at there. Let's get a container. Let's get a container. Jeez, bud, you trying to burn the whole thing down? Not yet. Okay, all right. Man, that looks just like the gas I put in there. It actually looks really clean. That's wild. Not bad. I thought for sure there'd be a bunch of gunk in those lines. There's a little, but it's not crazy. I want to make sure that filter's not clogged up. So I'm going to take it off on that side and see what we got coming out that end as well. Let's see what comes out now. Looks like it's making it through just fine. Well, I say let's hook it up and see if she makes any noises. We are in neutral. I'll probably chock the wheels just in case. Well, tried to do something for a second there. I do have a little bit of a gas leak though. I gotta fix that first. I can't be having gas spill all over the exhaust manifold. I just don't think that ends well. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's a leaker, bud. She's pretty split and cracked on both ends there. I think I got some extra line laying around though. Like that took care of that leak. I want to try one more time. Let's just, before I go get the truck and put some cables on it, let's try again. Kind of makes the trip seem worth it. That is a good feeling. The battery started creeping closer and closer to that fan over here. Oh, we are real close to a disaster. I need to get that secured just a little bit better for testing purposes, and then we'll see if we can't figure out what's going on with the actual key switch itself. So what I'm checking for, what I've got hooked up here, we're going to see if when I turn the key, I'm actually getting the exciter wire here is doing its thing. There's a chance that the solenoid there is bad, but I should be able to pick up a reading on that exciter wire. That goes to the negative on the, well, you'll see, you'll see. Okay, let's see what we got here. I don't know if you can see it or not through the glare on the window. Check this out. We don't even have to use the heavy lead because everything else is working as far as jumping it. So that's the exciter wire. If I just to go, see where my 12 volts at right here. So we know the solenoid's working. So that's good. Somewhere this isn't getting the information it needs. It's not making the connection. Slightly embarrassed. Turns out it's just order operations. Clutch by itself, nothing. Brake by itself, nothing. It wants the brake and the clutch. It's super safe. Battery's low. All right, now we got that figured out. Let me go get a battery. And the parking brake is stuck, which is okay. But I do kind of want to secure that battery around a little bit. Now let's see if it's got brake fluid and power steering fluid and take it for a spin. I don't know. It's not like it's blocking a whole lot with the giant hole in the bottom of it, but it's got to be better than sucking a whole bird in there, I suppose. Let's see if it's got any of this. It does. It's wow. Considering it's empty, it's probably a little optimistic, but if it just gives me a few seconds of braking, I wouldn't be against it. So we've got some fluids in it, more than I say is adequate. I do want to try this hoist too, once we get her up and going here, so we'll see if there's actually any. Well, there is oil in there, look at that. I also need to figure out on the control box for the PTO, which one is for the valve, which is right here, and which one is for the actual PTO. And I can just see which knob's moving on the inside. It's like the one on the, okay. Alright. I'll go figure, the one labeled PT is going to be the one that actually engages the PTO. And that's going to be the one for the actual lever to go up and down. We'll see how that all works out. Shut her down and give you a tour of what's going on back here. You can get a real good image of the weight reduction kit now. Looking pretty good. This is actually still pretty thick, but obviously all that's gone. I mean, it's not great, but it's free truck level for sure. For running around the homestead, I think it's doable. Now to fix this, whenever I do this, my plan is to take the bed off. Because again, the actual skin of the inside isn't terrible. So my plan would be to actually take the bed off, just flip it upside down, and weld new tubing all the way across. Basically replace everything that's rotted out, just a piece of tubing all the way across where it's rotted out, and then a piece of tubing there to fill that in. The hoist itself doesn't look terrible. I don't know, I'm pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you. Pleasantly surprised. You can get a little bit better look at what the cab's got going on here. See how it's come unattached and it's just sitting on the back of the cab. Makes it a little bit shorter for clearance, so you got that going for you. The only thing left, I guess, is to see if it actually moves. We can try it. I'm just gonna leave the chocks there for the time being, and we'll put her into one and we'll just see if she wants to push into it. And then that'll give us a little bit of feel of the brakes. And then we'll shut the old hood, move the chocks, and take her for a spin. What would Derek do? You know what I mean? He would drive this 600 miles home. I put it on a trailer. He would have drove it. Two things. The PTO doesn't sound great. We might be stuck. There it goes. I definitely have no brakes. As long as we don't go downhill, we should be okay. Although the parking brakes also feel like they're stuck, so maybe a little bit of an anchor, you know? Alright, well, it moves a little. Yep, okay. Could be a death trap. All right. Brakes are definitely sticking in the back, but that's okay. That's stopping us. No. It runs. It moves, at least in first gear. Brakes are dragging. The cab not being attached to the frame or being wrought and twisted like that is not making the fan shroud happy with the fan, as you could probably hear. So I got some decisions to make. It's pretty much everything I thought it would be. He sent me probably close to 50 pictures, up close and personal. Everything we found on this truck today, I already had a picture of, so I knew what I was getting into. We've got a good rear axle. Front axle looks pretty good. The frame's decent in the back. The bed is something to work with. Looks like the hoist works, so that's good. We've got parts and we got an engine and transmission that work. What we don't have is a good solid front end as far as that frame goes, and the cab obviously has some pretty major issues, and the main supports of the bed are a little rough. Got some good parts, we got some not so good parts. We got a free truck. That's what we got, and I'm pretty excited about it. So now I've got some decisions to make. Do I try to make this a good drivable truck that I can run around the property? I got to fix the cab, reinforce the frame, and fix the box. Or do I talk to the guy that gave it to me and see if he's okay with me selling that engine and using that to buy steel to make a nice dump trailer out of? I got some things I got to figure out. Either way, we got some great starting points for some pretty awesome improvements on the homestead, and I'm pretty excited about it. Thanks again to Dirt Perfect for letting me borrow his trailer to go up and get this thing out of Gary, Indiana, and thanks again to Mike for giving me the truck. This is your reminder. If you got junk that you want out of your yard and you want somebody to come get it from you, send me some pictures. There's a good chance I'll come pick it up. I love this stuff. It also just makes great content. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Hopefully next video we got the hydraulic line repaired on the 555 ready to go. The thumb did come in. We got an inexpensive Amazon mechanical weld-on thumb to put on there, and we also got a new flux core wire welder to do that with. So we got some awesome stuff coming up, and hopefully I'm lucky enough to catch you guys on the next one.